all ages, like a car cruise, foam party for kids, police, fire, and canine demos, as well as a hot dog and pizza eating contest, and area food trucks like Al's Pizza and craft vendors. There will be something for everyone this Saturday at the New Swickley Township First Responders Fall Fest from noon until the fireworks start at 8:30 at Green Valley Park.
Welcome to the Best of Beaver County, presented by St. Barnabas, a weekly segment dedicated to putting the focus on the amazing things and the amazing people behind them in Beaver County. The Best of Beaver County is sponsored by and content is provided by St. Barnabas. The show airs every Thursday from 11 to 11:30 on WBVP, WMBA, 99.3 FM, and Facebook Live. Now, with no further ado, let's welcome host Mike Romai to introduce today's program.
And I'm Frank Sparks in for Mike Romai again this week on the Best of Beaver County. Thank you for being a part of your Thursday morning. And with us this morning is a guy that's pretty interesting. You've probably heard his voice on Friday nights doing the Boom Pow DIY Solar reports on Beaver County Radio. None other than Joseph Marticek. Good morning, Joe. Thanks for coming in today.
Good morning. Thanks, Frank, for having me.
Yeah, looking forward to chatting a little bit here this morning. So, you're in on a special day, celebrating, there's no better way to put it, remembering but celebrating the lives of 9/11.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a patriot. I'm a family man. I'm a God-fearing man. And it's just a shame, what happened back then. So my hearts go out to all those people, that lost their lives. So let's never forget. It's an emotional time for me to think about that kind of stuff. And it seems like our country's actually gone backwards, which is a shame. And we need to come together as a people. I don't want to get political. I'm just letting you know that this stuff has gone way too far.
Our country did come back last, in 2001. Unfortunately, this heinous act, I think it did make our country.
Oh, it did, but that only lasted a short period of time, and now this country's completely off the rails. So I just hope that we can all gather together as a people, united as one. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to say anything much more about that other than, I love my country, I love my God, and I love my family, and that's
Where were you the day when you first found out started? What was going on?
I was in the credit card processing business. Okay. It's weird because I had just ordered these postcards, and I had ordered them about 2 months before that. And the day that happened, these postcards showed up, and I felt sick to my stomach because the postcard itself had like an explosion on it, like on the back of it, like explode savings.
Right.
And it was that day, and I remember getting that postcard, and this had just happened, and I was sick to my stomach thinking I got like 10,000 of these postcards with this explosion on it.
Right.
The next time I did a postcard, it was a wave. But yeah, God bless America.
Yeah,
so,
no doubt.
Just a very sad day. And even yesterday, I mean, I as I said, I don't want to get political, but I kind of like what Charlie Kirk, had to say. And it's just a shame that we're in this type of place, in this country, in this world, where evil is just running rampant, and I just pray to God for his family as well.
Absolutely.
Very sad.
Well, Joe, you're a Beaver County guy, grew up in Beaver County. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I grew up in Hopewell. I went to Hopewell High School. When I was about 5 years old, we moved into Bradbury Drive in Aliquippa, which actually is the house I live in now. Both of my parents had passed away, and I'm a real sentimental type of guy, so I bought out my two brothers. But I live in the house that I grew up in. Since I have 30 minutes, I'm going to tell you a true story. I try to give a testament to this story. This is a true story. I would never elaborate or say anything that's not true. My brother, Ray, who's 18 months older than me, would attest to this story. So we're sleeping, and we both awake from the night, and we meet outside my parents' bedroom, and we saw two guardian angels. I swear to God, we saw these two angels. And we ran past them, we jumped into bed, and we looked down at the foot of the bed, and we saw a vision of the Blessed Mother, literally praying. We saw this. Him and me both saw the same thing. We saw a shipwreck, we saw a baby in a cradle, and we saw two more angels. That is a true story. My brother would testify to that story. We're both Christians, and to make a long story short, my dad slept through the whole thing. Finally, my mother woke up, and she gave us cookies and milk, and she says, it's okay. It's the Holy Spirit. The visions kind of disappeared. We came back to bed. We get into bed. My mother falls back to sleep, and the visions came back.
Oh, wow.
Me and my brother, we're like innocent kids. Mm-hmm. We're way up on top by the pillow. And I said to my brother, is this for real or what's going on? At that moment, this is a true story. I'm testifying.
Okay.
This is all true.
Right.
I said, is this for real? What's going on? Somebody touched my left toe. I have a mark on my left toe. And they said, don't be afraid. Be strong. And the visions disappeared. That's true. 3 days later, my grandfather, Joseph Corrieu, passed away. And I'm still searching for what all that means. Mm-hmm. But maybe that's why I'm God, family, and, country. So I guess that has a lot to do with it.
No, I understand that.
I mean, very emotional time, but it's something that I could live upon. Mm-hmm. And this is who I am. I'm 58 years old now. This was some 50-some years ago that this happened to me.
So graduated from Hopewell. What'd you do in high school? Sports or anything? Or
yeah, I played high school football.
Okay.
I was a football player for Hopewell. I graduated in '85. I was a center and an inside linebacker. When I was a junior, our starting center got hurt. Now, I wasn't starting at the time. I think it was our third game of the year. Our starting center got hurt. And instead of putting me in a junior, they stuck a kid named Rob Bocant in. He was a lot bigger than me. And they put him in. And I got so mad, I went over to Coach Veits on Monday. I says, I want Bocant in the pit. 10, let's do 10 plays in the pit. And I just ate him for lunch. I just completely destroyed him, 10 plays in a row. And I won my spot. So I was a starting center as a junior. I was low. I'm only 5'6.5" on a good day. So I was able to get up underneath people and do leverage and a lot of reach blocks. So, but yeah, I was a ball player for Hopewell. We had a good year. My junior year, we went 7-3, and then my senior year, we were 4-6.
All right.
But yeah, I was a ball player for Hopewell.
So, what'd you do after high school?
I kind of bebopped around a little bit,
right.
but eventually, I worked for the post office for 5 years. I was a mail carrier, but I knew that I'm Lebanese. I'm a little bit of Greek. I'm Slovak, 50% Slovak, 47% Lebanese, and 3% Greek. So I knew I was an entrepreneur. My family had always been in business. My grandmother owned a store up in Plant 11 on 3rd Avenue called Jenny's Market. My Aunt Rosella owned a store. So we were, Lebanese people traditionally are peddlers. We're selling things. So I just knew that I was making good money as a postal carrier. But after 5 years, I was like, you know what? I'm going to be my own man. And, early on, about a year earlier, I started my own video production company.
So where'd that love come from?
Video?
Yeah, to do that.
I don't know. It just all of a sudden came to me. And next thing I know, I have a studio down in downtown Aliquippa called the Broadcast Street Cafe.
You still have it?
Well, I don't. The building is there. Okay. My name is still there. Okay. At least parts of the name is still
gotcha.
There. The Aliquippa Alliance, I believe, owns the building, but they rent it out. And it was JM Video and Productions. So it was Broadcast Street Cafe. It's in the old Murphy's building. It's still there. I was written about many, many times in the Post-Gazette, the Beaver County Times, big articles about what I was doing in life. And I was actually doing a show back in my studio called Up Close in High School Football, which I would videotape the game, and then I would invite the winning team. I'd be covering like the local teams, Aliquippa, Hopewell Center, Ambridge. I would cover these teams, and the winning team I would bring down to the studio, and I would be the host. I would host a show kind of like David Letterman, and I have a side band. I'd say, hit it, band, and we'd have a band, and it was fun. It was aired on WBGN TV. And then eventually, there was a time I was bankrupt. I was broke. I had no money. I had a baby coming. I had this beautiful little girl, Sabrina Jo, my daughter, was coming and on the way. And I went out to Hollywood. And the first trip out to Hollywood, I did a show called JM Goes to Hollywood. Right name, JM, Joe Marticek. JM Goes to Hollywood, and was aired on WBGN again. And I interviewed people. I interviewed Steve Allen, the creator of The Tonight Show, in his Burbank office. I have a video clip of that. If people want to see it, I have it. It's there. I interviewed Benny Bardonis. He was the guy that sang Into the Night. That is Marina Del Rey, condo. I interview people like Gordon Clapp and things like that. So I was doing a variety show, and I would do different skits on the street. It's quite funny, actually. But I do have a demo reel up there. It's been up there since whatever.
So then you, from what I see, you went on and was actually in a couple films and did some acting as well.
Well, that'd be my second time around. So the first time I went out, I did JM Goes to Hollywood.
Right.
I came back home, and my daughter was just being born. Bankrupt, broke, had no money, sleeping on the couch of my my ex-mother-in-law, and her couch with my baby. I had nothing. I'm starting all over, and when you have children, you got to grow up.
Right.
So I had to kind of put off the dream and focus on taking care of my daughter. I remember interviewing Benny Mardonis at his place, and kind of became friends with him. And he met my ex-wife, and I still love her. I made a lot of mistakes, It wasn't all her. A lot of it was me. But he said to me, after he met her, he said, "Man, you are a shooting star, man. You need to just take care of your daughter, stay here in Hollywood, and just make it happen." But I couldn't do that, man. I had a baby.
Yeah. So, well, tell us about your daughter.
Well, she's amazing. She's 28 years old.
All right.
She's an entrepreneur, just like her father. She's a photographer. She's been to Germany, Italy, France. Wow. She's been basically an international photographer. She's amazing at what she does. And she's traveling. She's got my granddaughter that's 6 years old, going to be 7. My daughter actually turned 28 September 9th. And just very proud of her. I mean, she's her own boss. I went out to see her in Anchorage, Alaska for her 20th birthday. And we went on a whale watching tour. And then I took them on a train ride, in Alaska. She was living in Anchorage. And her husband was in the military. So she got out there. And she's taking a lot of pictures. And I'm like, you should become a photographer. You'd be great. You run your own schedule, your own boss. As you travel the country with the military, you can continue to make money. And that's what she did. And next thing you know, they started out in Texas. Then they went to Anchorage, Alaska. Then they went to Florida. And by the grace of God, they actually came back home. My daughter's done so well that her husband's no longer in the military. And they have a beautiful home in Franklin Park.
That's awesome.
So I just couldn't be more proud of her. Any father that raises a daughter that's successful, you feel good about it.
We're visiting this morning with Joe Marticek. He is the owner of Boom Pow DIY Solar on the Best of Beaver County here on Beaver County Radio. And we're going to take a short break, and then we'll come back with more here on the Best of Beaver County.
The courage to...
Let's face it, work is a large part of your life. Why not choose a job that allows the opportunity of a fulfilling career working with people who appreciate you? St. Barnabas Health System is looking for extraordinary, service-minded people to join our team. Earn and learn with career opportunities on our clinical, housekeeping, and food service teams. For more information and to apply, visit stbarnabashealthsystem.com or call 724-444-JOBS. Jobs that are apart from the ordinary. Find them at St. Barnabas Health System.
Honey, I found the perfect place for my parents and us.
Where?
St. Barnabas. For us, the Woodlands Carriage Home Community. And for my parents, condominium-style living at the Village. My folks will love the Village. There's an indoor mall with shops, restaurants, and more. And we can relax, knowing they're safe and secure.
That's what I plan to do when we move to St. Barnabas. Relax.
Call 724-444-5568 or visit stbarnabascommunities.com.
We're back on the Best of Beaver County. Frank Sparks in for Mike Romai today. Visiting this morning with Joe Marticek, and he's the owner of Boom Pow DIY Solar. Talking a little bit about where he started at. We got I think we're about, maybe halfway through your life at this point?
Yeah, I don't know. I said a whole lot there. I'm thinking back, man, I really covered a lot of ground there.
Yeah, but it's good stuff. All right, so your daughter, you have a daughter, and now what led you into where you're at now, which is, I see LED lighting and also solar power both. So what led you into that?
So about 10 years ago, I started doing LED lighting. I did that. That's where my first start in clean energy was.
Okay.
And believe it or not, I traveled and sold LED lighting in 48 of the 50 states, the whole intercontinental USA. I went on a Going Green, Go Home tour. I think it was in 2016 or 2000, something like that. And I just traveled the whole United States in my big Mercedes Sprinter van.
Okay. Now, this was your own company?
Yeah.
Okay,
Boom Pow LED Lighting Group.
Okay.
I'm my own man, running my own schedule.
Right.
I mean, what a great thing to do. 48 states. I mean, I would go and do 9 states, and I'd come home for a month, and I would travel. But basically, in a year's time, I went to the entire country and sold at least one LED tube all across the country. I mean, it was pretty cool. I ate lobster in Maine. I actually lived in Rhode Island for a year. I mean, I would travel back and forth, but did really quite well selling LED lighting all up from Maine all the way down to Connecticut.
So what's the advantage of LED lighting since it's so successful and it seems like a lot of people are going to it?
Well, I mean, I would target, my target was, because I see in here we have LED lighting. You know. My target was auto repair shops. I would show up in auto repair shops traveling. Could you imagine? I'm driving across the country. I'd walk into your auto repair shop in Connecticut and I'd say, man, is this place dark in here? I sound like the freaking Bat Cave. I got a ladder, a tool belt, and hands quicker than Bruce Lee. Let's light this up. And I'd just start counting out lights.
Yeah.
And I would retrofit these. Okay. And I would be turning, huge profits. It was pretty exciting. Cool. But the advantage is you're saving about 90% off the lighting bill. You're cutting away, eliminating the ballast. It's cleaner. It's much cleaner energy. If you're using 90% less energy, that makes sense to me, right?
Right.
And they're brighter, and they last longer.
And you don't have a whole lot of overhead because you're doing the job yourself.
I was doing it all myself, but then if you drive all around Beaver County, my lights are everywhere. Right. There's nobody left to sell.
Right, I got you.
And then about 7.5 years ago, I got into solar.
All right.
And I'm not installing anything. I'm a broker.
I got you.
I am a broker. What does that mean? I'm a glorified sales guy. I'm a corporation, and my corporation has 4 different agreements with 4 different install partners. And when I meet with a client about solar, I'm looking for what's the best option for them.
Okay.
To give them the best pricing.
Kind of like getting insurance, only you're doing it with solar.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Yeah, basically, most people have one agreement with one company, but I'm an LLC, Boom Pow DIY Solar. Been around. That corporation's been around for over 4 years now. But as I said, I'm a broker. My job is to work specifically with homeowners. On a daily basis, what I do is I use a service, and I'm going and talking to brand new homeowners. I'm targeting new homeowners in Beaver County. Why do I target new homeowners? Because they just signed a 30-year, mortgage.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I never thought of that.
Solar, owning solar is like if you're going to own a house or you could rent a house. Why would you rent it if you could own it? So solar's kind of the same way. You could either rent your energy or you could actually own your energy. And that's kind of what I explain to people.
So what are some of the advantages of having solar?
Well, I mean, in most cases, if your home is good for solar, it's about a 30% savings.
Okay. When you say good for solar, what do you mean if your home's good for solar?
Well, it has to, you can't have trees all over the roof.
Gotcha. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, we do ground mounts. We could put it on the ground, but everything needs to, it has to be an efficient system. The more efficient it is, the better the numbers are going to be for the client.
So the fact that I have a sycamore that's taller than my house out back of my house, I'm probably not a good position because the sun doesn't really shine on my house all the time. So I wouldn't be.
Might not be a good candidate, but it all depends on, usually when somebody says, hey, I want to put solar on my house, first thing I ask them is, what's your address? And then I go to Project Sunroof.
Okay.
And I put in their address, and it's going to show me how efficient that is. If I see gold, if I see all gold, then I know, man, that's solar gold. That means I'm going to crush your price. I'm going to save you money. I'm going to give you a predictable price, and I'm going to give you ownership of that energy. Now, if I see like a dark purple, that's a loser. Like you want to go from yellow, orange is not too bad, but the darker the shade, the worse it is. So I'm just looking for certain systems.
Yeah. Now, does it take for a typical house, does it take a lot of panels to be on the roof for them to have solar?
Well, once again, first step is when somebody says, hey, I want to get solar. I said, well, I need your bill. Well, what do you need the bill for? Well, I don't know if you're using 10,000 kilowatts, 20,000. It's on your bill. It'll tell me, hey, this person uses 10,000 kilowatts.
Right.
Then once I receive that, I mean, that's really the first step in providing a quote. Then I'm going to ask them, are you adding anything? Are you adding a hot tub? Are you adding a swimming pool? Are you adding air conditions? Are your kids planning on moving in? I get very detailed in asking questions to make sure that my solution is the right solution for somebody.
So what you're saying is you don't just go out and say, to any house and just say, hey, let's put solar on your house. You actually evaluate it, and if it's not a good fit for them, then you tell them it's not a good fit. I just
tell them it's not a good fit.
Okay.
I basically tell them, this is my, my pitch. And it's the truth. It's not like a pitch, but I just say to them, listen, it starts with the utility bill. If you give me an opportunity to prevent a free solar savings report,
right.
If you like what I have to say, great. We'll talk about the next steps. If you don't like what I have to say, I'm simply going to thank you for your time, shake your hand, and go talk to your neighbor. Nobody's here to pressure you. I'm just here to educate you on the fact that there's a better way. If I come to your house and I look at the report and I'm like, this is a loser. Like, I don't want to waste my time.
Right.
I don't want to waste your time.
Makes sense.
Sometimes I show up at a brand new homeowner and I'm looking and there's trees all over the house. It's like, well, I just mark it off. There's nothing I can do for that person.
Right.
But then again, I'm starting to I'll look for a garage. Maybe there's a garage in the back that has a great roof space.
Right.
Kind of ran into that the other day where I thought it was a loser, and then I realized the guy had a garage in the back. I'm like, wait a minute, we could put it over here. So that was a good solution. Or if somebody has a lot of property, maybe the roof is not a good solution. Maybe the ground is a better solution.
Gotcha.
So, I take great pride in I have 5-star reviews all over Google. My clients will tell you Joe is not just a salesman. Joe will always take your call. Joe will always answer your questions. Joe will always be there for you.
So is it affordable? I mean, because a lot of people, they have that misconception that solar's expensive and it costs a lot of money to do it to start with. But then once you get it going, you actually get your money back. But is it actually affordable to have solar?
So here's what I usually do. There's 4 ways to go solar. There's cash.
Okay.
If you got cash laying around, it's like going into Vegas, just use an example, throwing your 30 grand down on the blackjack, and them telling you you're absolutely going to be the winner. You're going to get that 30 grand back over the next 7 years. It's all coming back, and everything after that is all profit.
Is that typically how long it takes for your?
Yeah, about 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Or what I try to tell people, if you don't have this kind of cash laying around, why not lease it? Like I did a deal yesterday where I gave a guy a 0% escalator. The guy was paying $200 a month.
Mm-hmm.
His utility is going to continue to rise. It's going to rise 3 to 5% a year. There's no doubt. It's never going to go down, right? So he's paying $200. He's going to be up for a 3 to 5% rate increase as long as that house is there. I came in and said, hey, listen, let's get your payment down to $180 a month, and my price will never go up. Hey, what's your payment going to be in 10 years?
Right.
$180. What's your payment over here in 10 years? $295, $300. Like, hello, McFly, is anybody in there? So that's kind of where I'm at. Now, in order to give somebody a 0% escalator, it's got to be a really efficient system.
Right.
You got to have that solar gold. Escalators on leasing go between 0 to 2.99%. So everything is subject to how efficient it is.
Now, is there truth to the fact that, like, I've heard people say that basically when you have solar, you still have your electric meter on your house, but it basically spins backwards, and then they have to pay, then you end up getting reimbursed by the electric company?
Yeah, that's what's called net metering. There's several ways you can make money back. If you do a loan or cash, if you pay cash and you're doing a solar loan, depending on if you have tax liabilities. If you pay federal income tax, if the system costs us 30 grand, you're going to get 30% back, meaning you're getting 9 grand back.
Okay.
And then you're going to get a state-funded program called a Solar Renewable Energy Credit. You might make another 4 or 5 grand on that. And then if you overproduce, let's say your system produces 12,000, but you only use 10,000, then the utility is going to pay you about 10 cents. They're going to pay you about $220 for overproducing 2,000 kilowatts. So there's a way that you will make money back. I really go for these leases. 99% of what I'd say about 80%. Our leases, 20% cash deals. But with a lease, once again, I'm giving you a predictable payment, meaning if my payment is $180, that's your payment.
Right.
Your payment of that $200, it's not going to be $140 this month, $260 this month. It's a consistent, predictable payment.
So if they lease, then how long's the lease period for?
Well, it's a 25-year lease, but they're in a lifetime commitment with the utility.
Right.
And then after 5 years with these leasing programs, after 5 years, if you decide you want to own it, you could certainly pull the cash out and own it outright.
Oh, okay.
Now, if I gave you a lease with a 2.99 escalator, then maybe after 5 years you do want to buy it,
right?
Because you eliminate the escalator now.
Right, I got you.
But every client is specific to, first still is looking at that utility bill, understanding, is this a good fit or is it not a good fit?
Are there a lot of homes like in our area here? And I mean, because, we're going to be, when this replays on Sunday, it'll be throughout Allegheny County as well. Are there, a lot of homes that are doing solar?
I mean, I have 15 pending jobs right now, 15 pending. I mean,
wow.
Over the next 3 months, these 15 will have solar. Think of how many other solar guys are out there.
Right.
So think about it.
Right.
And when I talk to people, it's like, I'm one guy. I've got all these jobs pending. There's hundreds of guys just like me out there. I'm not putting anybody down, but I think I'm a little bit above everybody else in what I do. But the reality is, who's the utility going to charge? Hey, we didn't realize 3,000 customers were going to leave us and go to solar energy. We got to raise our price. Why is that? Well, we lost 3,000 clients last year. We also have new transmission towers. We have all these expenses. Hey, by the way, our guys make $50 an hour. I mean, God bless them. I'm glad they're union guys. They make a lot of money. But who do you think pays for that? The homeowner.
Right.
So to not even look at solar, it might not be you should at least take a look at it. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And if you gain something, it's going to be worth it. If it's not, then like I said, I'll just thank you for your time.
What's the reliability of solar?
Well, these systems on a cash deal, if you had paid cash, and I'm not saying you give me a bunch of greenbacks, it's a check, cash. Right. My partner, Helios, I work with a company called Helios Solar. He's my main install partner that I prefer to work with.
Okay.
He gives a lifetime warranty, which includes roof penetration. That's on a cash deal. If you lease it, they give you a 25-year warranty covered by the leasing company. And then whoever installs it's responsible for the installation of it.
So what's typically the viability of like a typical panel? Do they last the 25 years and then you have to have them replaced, or are they good for longer than that?
Oh, much longer than that. I mean, the denigration on panels are typically less than 0.5%. So if I say to you, hey, this system is going to produce 110% of your energy. Mm-hmm. In 25 years, it would still be producing 95% of your energy. So slight denigration. They're warranted for 25 years. If you do lease it for a 25-year term, you're covered entire 25 years. Now, after the 25 years, there's no more warranty, but that doesn't mean the system stops working.
Right.
It just means you're out of warranty,
Gotcha.
And you can always add an extended warranty.
All right, we're visiting this morning with Joe Marticek. He is the owner of Boom Pow DIY Solar, and believe it or not, that half hour already blew by. Just talking
That's awesome.
and just having a good time. So if somebody would like to get a hold of you, Joe, and have you come out and see if they're valuable for solar, how can they do that?
The best way to reach me is 1-844-BOOM POW. Just coming out of hard. And make sure you listen to me on Friday night here.
Yep.
I'll be joining the station covering a second game this week, Hopewell against who are we playing? Hopewell and Beaver. Hopewell and Beaver
it's gonna be a good football game.
At Tony Dorsett Stadium. I'm really great. Thanks for having me on and being part of that program. I'm really very grateful.
I've actually been looking for a long time for somebody to do reports like that. So we love having the reports from elsewhere because that's football in Beaver County, as you know, growing up here and being a part of it is huge this time of year, and everybody loves their high school football.
Absolutely. I'm just so grateful that you gave me the opportunity to come back in. I asked Gary last year to try to do this. What wasn't right, and then you guys approached me, and I'm just really grateful, very thankful. And I'm going to get better. Every week my reports will get sharper, better, and I'm just grateful to be a part of such a great crew.
Sounds good. Thanks you, Joe. Appreciate you coming in, and throw it out there one more time if they'd like to get a hold of you.
Give me a call at 1-844-BOOM-POW, BOOMPOW.
All right, tune back in next week for another episode of The Best of Beaver County here on Beaver County Radio.
Thank you for listening to The Best of Beaver County. St. Barnabas is pleased to have provided content and sponsorship for the program. Tune in this Sunday at 11:30 for an encore presentation of today's program on Beaver County Radio. And next Thursday at 11 for another edition of the Best of Beaver County on WBVP, WMBA, and 99.3 FM.
It's Bristol.
Allgaier immediately goes to the outside. Down on the bottom is Larson. Side by side for second is Connor Zillich.
Allgaier caught on the outside trying to fight back. A big wiggle out of Justin Allgaier.